starting point here has to be our own BT group members who are out on strike today. And 35 years since the last dispute, that will tell you that there's a lot of those members have never ever been on strike before. And we know that after delivering a fantastic ballot result that smashed all of the Tory anti-union laws, that our members were workers who were in call centres. Many of them, the vast majority of them, were home workers or workers who work on their own. And this is a very significant day in that sense, because what it tells you is, in the UK today, there is no worker that's unreachable now. And I think that's because everybody is feeling just how difficult the challenges are for them and their families. And what they're seeing, and I know Andy went through the figures, and those figures have got to keep being repeated, because that shows you that the fundamental problem in the UK today is there's a structural imbalance of power and wealth. It's been happening for decades, it's getting worse, and we have to do something about it. This guy up here, Philip Jansen, he's done some interviews recently where he's been quoted and he's not come out to say anything different. They can strike as many times as they want. We're moving on, they should be more worried about the future. But I'm going to tell you now, the guy who should be worried about his future is the leader of this company and the board that sit behind it. Because we are going to pursue this dispute until our members get a substantial pay rise that we've negotiated, that they vote for, and that helps protect them against the cost of living crisis. And we are going to have a sit down after the strike on Monday, and we're going to come up with a range of different strategies to pile on the pressure and expose what's actually going on in a lot of companies across the UK today. That's why workers are all coming out and standing up, and we need to speak about that again. So 1.3 billion added to £400 million in the first quarter of this year, and they've put the prices up. They're not just ripping off their workforce, they are ripping off customers. They've put the prices up over a 12-month period. It will go up, they announced yesterday, by another 13% next January, on top of 9% last January. Now we need to expose what's going on here. And these economic debates, where people are coming out trying to talk about workers and that we're causing the problem, I think the whole country has seen through that, and it is time to lead something very different now. And that's why we've done some interviews today, and I want to thank all of those obviously who have supported us through thick and thin. Jeremy, John, Sam. Jeremy and John, you've been so inspirational to working people for so many, many years, and you continue to show that solidarity. It's absolutely astounding that you continue to do that, and we want you to do that for many, many, many years. But also the other trade unions that are here today, Paul Fleming, Equity, Eddie, Mick, RNC, lots of other trade unions. I'm going to say to you today, and I've said this on the interview this morning, it is time, as well as focusing on our individual disputes, it is time now to consider, sit down as trade unions, and I spoke to Mick Lynch yesterday about this, and Gary Smith, and I'll be speaking to Sharon Brown later, and Francis O'Grady. We did have a TUC meeting on Monday, but we are going to call for forms of collective action that every worker in the UK can participate in. We'll work out the strategies for that. We'll hold a press conference in the not too distant future, and we'll talk about why it's so important that alongside the wave of current disputes, that we don't see this actually as a summer of discontent. I think it's bigger than that. I said that on air this morning. This is about building a fundamentally different movement that stands up for working people in the UK today. I hope the Labour Party wake up. I hope they do, but we can't wait for them either. And, you can't get in power in the UK today. They will pay the price, the leadership of the Labour Party at the moment, for what they're doing. because people will not have a false type of debate where they want power with no principles or no policies. They will not achieve electoral success on that basis. But look, to be honest with you, that ain't the focal point for us going forward. The focal point is with the current situation. I mean, can you believe, like 6 months ago, that we've been seeing two prospective Tory party next Prime Ministers arguing with each other passionately about who's mismanaged the economy the most? I mean, it is absolutely staggering. And that's why we've got to fill the political vacuum now. There's no choice, mate. It's time to see trade unionism in its widest possible context. The CWU has been leading a campaign alongside the disputes for our own members, calling for a new deal for working people and a new social settlement for the UK. And that new deal has to end in work poverty. It has to end all of the exploitation of the gig economy. And we can do that. Eddie said it earlier on today. Trade unions, alongside other people in our movement who have the right principles, we can bring about that change. People are ready for it, we're ready for it, and we're going to deliver it. Thanks very much.